Alrighty, welcome back. We're still on the front suspension. I have got some brackets made. It took some time, just welded up some brackets. One fits the top, and I'm going to use one on the bottom. I made these two small ones for the back. We did not use them, so we're going to put them on the bottom. This one's going to go on the top, or this one goes on the top, just like so. And right now I'm going to show you as I'm doing it. This one goes on the bottom. So I'm just going to put that there. This is where I'm at right at the present moment. Two brackets there. I've got the top bracket welded on. You want to go around and take a look at it there, baby? See how the top bracket goes? This is what I got going on for the top bracket. It's welded on there. I welded it. Man, I'd give her to her. I had to wait for a while to cool down, but I got it welded on there very nicely, and then I got it bolted up. That's where our top bracket is. I'm hoping all the pressure is up and down, so nothing's going to bend there, nothing's going wrong there. You'd have to rip that bracket off. So right now I'm on the bottom bracket. You can see where we're coming down. You want to have to come over here, sweetheart? We're going through the bottom control arm. You can see where the shock's hanging down through, or the bag and the shock's hanging down through. Now we've got to make a bracket for the bottom. And this is where I'm going to repurpose the bracket that we made for the back. That's what I'm going to do. We're going to let this down. What I'm doing right now, I'm just seeing how far I can get the wheel up inside to figure out where the bracket's going to go. I sort of have an idea. We'll just let this down. I'm going to unbolt the shock. Pull this back out. You can see really good now how it's going there now. Got that up there. It looks really nice. Got a little place to turn it. I don't know what that lever does. I have no idea what that does yet. No idea. But I'm thinking that we'll soon find out. Pulling that out. Come on, baby. Just had to hold my tongue right. So that pulls out of there like that. I'm just going to put that back in there so I don't misplace it. Downtown John's just visiting today. He's got things to do. He's got things to do. But basically what's going on now, I need that bracket on the bottom. I've got the bracket on top. You can see where I've got it welded. I got that all welded on there. I give her right to her. It's not the prettiest looking thing, but I'm thinking not many people are going to be down underneath that bracket. Also, when I go to paint this, all this stuff, this chassis stuff, to repaint it, a nice little trick is, I'm not going to grind any of that weld on that bracket at all. A nice little trick is to give a little rub of seam sealer. It'll fill any pinholes, it'll fill any crevices, and it'll really make it look nice, and that's probably what I'm going to do. But right now I have this little bracket I want to put on the bottom. I'm going to jack this back up because I want to see what I'm doing. This is a hard one to sort of do because basically because I'm underneath the car. I'm underneath the car. That's fine, John. I'm underneath the car, and I've got it marked where I want this bracket, so I'm basically just going to weld it, or turn the welder on, and stick it on there, and then I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to gusset it and make it strong, basically. Got some gas this morning. That was good. Got some gas this morning, cooking with gas. So we'll put the ground back on. A lot of rolling around on this, a lot of rolling around on the ground, that's for sure. But, let's face it, I'm getting it done. Getting it done. If I can get both these airbags on today, that'd be fantastic. I have to go get some fittings. I haven't got the fittings for, I need a T, and I need a chuck, I guess. So I don't, what do you call that when the air goes in? A valve. I need an air valve. So, I've got a couple marks in here. When I put that shock in there, I just marked it where I want this bracket. I'm going to stick it on here with my welder. Just going to stick it on. You can see, I don't know if you can see on this side or not. I'm just going to tack it on there. I've marked it and I'm just putting it in between my two marks. I'm guessing. Not guessing. Doesn't sound like I'm tacking it, does it, John? Doesn't sound like I'm tacking it, but I want it to stay.
Really, no.
I want it to stay there, though.
Sounds like confidence.
Thank you. I've got a bit of it. That's just stuck on there for now. It's not bad. And see how that, well, if you come around from the other side, sweetheart. If you come around from the other, around this way, just so everybody can see, you can get your best shot. What's happening is it comes down through here, and I marked it on this side and this side, in the center of this hole, so I can get my shock in there. So now what I'm going to do is, I guess maybe what I'm going to do is I'll put it back on. I'm not sure right this present second, but basically this here is not strong enough to hold that shock from coming down. I'm not sure if I want to gusset it, if I want to put a piece of square stock across there so it can't go anywheres. But basically that's what I've got there, and I'm just looking at it right at the present moment to see if it's going to work or not. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to leave that like that. That's how easy that was, I guess. But I have to. This probably has to be bent in there a little bit. Probably, no doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. I got that out too far. I have to try it. That's what I have to do. I got it tacked on there, and I have to try it. This is all trial and error. And that's what I'm doing, trial and error. Let's bolt this back on. I want to let that down. I can. It can just go right down. And this is how it goes in there. I'm not even going to bolt that up. You want to jack that up, John, please? Just a sec. Get that. Yeah. I'm going underneath. Go ahead. Jack her up, please. Please and thank you. Well, it's not in the right place, that's for sure. That's got to be beat for. No, I just have to turn this a little bit, I think. See, I got it bent back. I'm gonna take a pair of channel locks. This is a lot of up and down stuff. I can't really, do anything other than that. I'm gonna just. Hopefully, I can bend that. Hopefully, I know I can. I know I can. There we go. I'm going to take that out again because that's not working either. Don't knock that wood off. There we go. Let's try it this time. I think that would work if a little bit more forward. Hope that doesn't break off. Can you jack up just a little bit, John? Please? Please and thank you. No, that just bends that bracket back. That's all that does. There's a little swivel joint in there, and yeah. Oh yeah, that's the part of it, I guess. That's the part of it. I don't mind that. That shock is, I'm just going to bend it forward a little bit more. And I think that'll work. So basically, where it's not hitting on this side, not hitting on that side on the hole, I think I'm fine. But this piece is probably where it needs to be, right about there like that. Now I have to make something for it to stay there. It's welded on the top. I'm bending it. So now I have to gusset it this way, make a piece go this way to gusset that to make it stay. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to triangles, I guess, make a triangle from here to there, and there to there, I'm thinking. There's many different ways to skin this cat, and just want to go forward a little bit more, hope it don't break off, and that's why I welded it on like that, so I could get a little bit of movement on it if I had it, if I needed it. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to grab a triangle out of probably 3/16. I'm going to grab a triangle, see if I can get it tacked into place to make that work. I've got a piece of 3/16 there. You want to check my mic? Jolene looks amazing today, and I enjoy when she touches me. Thanks, baby. Yeah, so it's pretty hard to fly through this stuff because it doesn't happen that way. I'm just going to take this piece. I've got a piece here, and I'm just going to go like this. Just cut it in half. Then I have 2 gussets. Okay, triangle. I got to go back over there. Sorry. That's the first place I go to when it comes to making something stronger. Is I give it a little bit of help. Thank you for the vice grips. We got them in the garage already. Whoop whoop whoop. And I don't know if it's going to work yet. We're just going to keep cruising on it. I'm thinking that they're both the same. We cut her down the center. I'm hoping they're both the same. There we go. Yeah. So, what if I put... I don't really like how that fits that, but I can change it. And I'm going to change it, obviously. That was not bad on that side. I'm going to mark that, make that fit. Mark it on this side. You can see it's overhanging on that side. I don't want something overhanging. I want to make it look half decent. Let's go on this side, and I'll mark it. So, if we think about it, when the pressure comes down, it's going to push on that bracket I put on the bottom control arm. It's going to push down on it. When I have this triangle in it, it can't push it back because it'd have to shove it up through the bottom mount. So we'll put this one on. I might have to shape the other one a little different on the other side because it's... I had a piece of square, well, I have a piece of square stock right here. I was going to run that across it and weld it on the back side. I just don't want to junk it up. I don't want to make it look junky, so I'm going to try to make a bracket looking. Make it look like a bracket, like a real bracket. Like a real bracket. I cut that. So, I'm hoping we can weld that on there like that. If I can get my fingers out of the way, see the... So, when the bolt goes through, when that pushes down on that, it can't push it back this way because it's shoving up on this piece, which should hold it. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld that piece in there, and then I'll make another one for the other side. Looks fine to me. Hickory dickory. Yeah, looks good. I think it does anyways. Better than having something that's not so good looking. And that can happen. I can do all kinds of stuff that's not good looking. And the matter of it is, I guess, just taking a little time to think about it. I gotta get right through the grinders, clean the paint off. Jolene's got me all plugged in already. Jolene's cleaned up the grads this morning. Jolene replenished the bolt bin with the gifts that were sent. Awesome, awesome. I love my lady. Turn that on. And I am plunking this stuff on. I know John said, tag it on. I'm plunking it on because I'm thinking that we have it. I'm thinking that I have it. I've messed with it in my brain enough and put it up and down and done that sort of stuff. It's centered in the hole here. I'm good with that. And nothing's going to touch the, yeah, it's going good. I might stop here in a second or two and do the right thing. Got to figure out how that fits again. There we go. I'm liking that. I'm liking that. So, I'm going to tie that off there. Oop. Here's a tack. Let's see what it looks like. No. Just want to do my channel locks. You pass me the channel locks, sweet please, sweetheart. I know you didn't get in your best shot helping me out, but I like to tack it and then I can move it around. There we go. Also, when we're welding this stuff, I like that you have to, well, not have to, but I like when there's gaps or a little bit, you know, when you put them together, you really have to put them together right, or you can not get the weld in that you want. What I'm trying to say is the right penetration. So I'm going to leave that there like that. And do this one. Nice. I like it. I love it. It's always a good idea to get that welder set up right too, so you can get a good weld on. So basically I got one on this side. I'm liking that. I'm liking that. We're not touching. We're not in the center of the hole down here. We're not in the center of the hole right when I come through. That does not matter. I am not hitting anything. I'm not touching anything. I'm close, but close is in hand grenades and horseshoes, and I'm close. But now we got another gusset here. I'm going to take and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this one off. You can. You see it? It's probably on the other side, is it? It doesn't matter. I'm just going to. I'll guess. I'll guess. I don't want to guess. It looks too good to guess. I have to get a marker. I'm going to get out and get a marker. So the square stock, I think this is going to look much better than the square stock. We're going up there so it hits right on there. But what I'm going to have to do, what I want to do, is make this triangle look a little different because it's not the way it looks the best. Draw a line down there like that. We'll leave that there because we're going to again. basically what I'll do, what I've done on this side, I'll take it and copy it to the other side so that both sides look the same. So that looks better, eh? See how I've cut that angle there? Just makes it look better for when you're welding it. I could have scabbed it on there. I don't want to scab it on there, not at all. I don't want to scab it. Could have, but I didn't. That hard to hold my hand just for a second. See where I want it. Just want to see if it's square back here. I want to make it look right, basically. All right, I'm gonna tack it on here. Nope, that is not the way I want it. Trying to make it look the best I can. Put that tack on it now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make it so it's the right distance apart so it looks good. Got it tacked on there. Bring her, straighten her out, make it the best I can. That looks good. That looks good. That looks better. So, yeah, I'm going to weld that on there. Beautiful. Tack it on the bottom. Come on, stop it. Nice and red hot. That's how she's going to stick. Alrighty. So basically, that's what I'm thinking. I'm going to take this shock off. I'm going to weld that up the best I can. I might even take the die grinder up there and knock that little bit of paint off there so I get the best weld I can. I'll weld it on both sides. I think I'd like to have it stuck there, so, well, that's not going to affect that, I don't think. If I weld it up, when I weld these little brackets, sometimes when I take them off the shock, because I didn't want any weld to hit the shock, it's aluminum. I didn't want to take anything and mark it or anything like that, so if I take it off, it shouldn't affect that to bring that back down on, but it has to be welded all across the top, down along here, and on the same on the other side. And you know just as well as I do, when that pushes down, that's going to try to drive that up, and you're not going to drive that up and rip that off. So I'm going to weld it on. Let's do it. Also, I know that the shock, this bag here, I know when I squeeze it all the way tight, it goes up. We're almost to the bump stop right at the present moment. We are. We could get it up all the way. Yes, we can. I know that because this bag goes all the way upside there. I've already compressed them all the way, and this bag disappears in that hat. I know that. So I know that we can go up another 1.5 inches. So basically, I'm trying to make myself feel like it's okay. That's what I'm trying to do. I think we're fine. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that off. I'm going to weld it up and go for it. Now I'm going to weld the inside, outside. I'm going to weld it all. I'm not going to grind off any of the weld either. I've got a little gap going on there so I can put some weld in there so it's nice and strong. I don't mind that, I don't mind that so much. Alrighty, what I'll do is I think I'll take the shock out, and then I'm going to weld that on there. I'm just looking at it. That's all I'm doing, trying to adjust in my brain whether it's okay or not. When I got a bump stop right there. If it goes up on the bump stop, that's as far as it's going to go.
Jack it up to there just to see?
Yeah, go for it. Jack it up if you like.
On
Joan's going to jack it up for me, just see what happens. That shock should come down through, or it shouldn't fall off. Go ahead. Yeah, see? Yeah, okay. Go ahead. So you can see the shock going up further. We're all the way up, you know what I mean? That thing's, oh yeah, it's going to empty no problem at all. There you go. She's bought, whoop, I don't want to get my fingers in there. You know, you want, just a second now, just a sec, don't jack that, please. The bump stop, we took the bump stop off, and that is all the way compressed pretty well. You're not going to get much further than that. That would put it on the ground, I would say. We still have a little bit of room to still go up in there. We still do. Yeah, that looks good. I don't think that matters if I weld that with that right there or not. I don't think. Can't see that hurting that. Watch your eyeballs, sweetheart. Yeah, I think everything's good, I think everything's good. Take a look on the other side. Just trying to make sure, that's all. Just trying to make sure. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm very happy with that. I'm just wondering if I should take the shock out of there to make it easier, or just make it so it doesn't hurt anything. I can't see it hurting anything, to be honest with you. I can't see it hurting anything. I'm going to weld it.
That Lincoln 220's working some good.
Yes, sir, baby, baby doll. Baby doll. Oh, you want to do that? I didn't want to do that. Looks nice. Well done, Chetty. That looks good. All right, I'm going to take that shock off just for poops and giggles because I don't want to do anything to it. But it is in place, that's for sure. It's not going anywhere. I'll get you let that down, Joan, if you will. Sure. I think we're cooking with gas here, to be honest with you. We're cooking with gas. You can let it all the way down. That way there I can take out the... Yeah. Does that every time. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to slide up in here, pull the bolt out of the bag. Actually, it doesn't matter if the bag comes out or not. I can weld it right there. I can do just as fine job welding it there as I can on the top.
Trying to keep that wire right in the center of that hot spot. That's all I'm trying to do. Just so it, make sure it's doing what I want it to do. And that's weld that bad boy on. So it never comes off.
Basically. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Wonder bra.
Remember those bras, you baby? Wonderful. All right, looks good. Now I'm going to weld it together down the sides.
Just finish it, I guess.
guess the main thing when you're doing this sort of stuff is make sure you leave room for the welder. Leave room for where you're welding. Like leave a gap or a 45 or whatever. Just leave room for the welder. I doubt I'll grind any of this weld off, and the reason being is I want it strong as possible. And like I said, what I'll do is I'll put a little seam sealer. If I don't like something, I take my seam sealer and I'll throw a little bit of seam sealer on it. I'll just put it on my finger and then I'll rub it over top of the weld, just a thin little layer, and that way there, when it's painted, it'll look really nice. I won't take any integrity out of it whatsoever when I do that. I just make it look nice with some seam sealer. It just takes the pinholes out of it, or takes any foolishness look out of it. Re-weld this here because I bent it. I would hate to see it take off. Must recognize when I bent that I must have, weakened it, so I welded again. Now I've got the outside welded, down each corner welded. Well, I'll get you to jack that up for me, will you please, John? Thank you.
Just a sec, John, for a sec. Just a sec.
All right, go ahead. Yep, jack her up, please. Thank you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to weld the inside. I've got the outside all welded. That should be good enough, I think. I don't want to get too close to that shock. I'm going to jump out here. You can imagine the amount of welding that a lowrider would have to strengthen the frame for that thing to go up and down. Oh, yeah, you'd have to do the whole chassis. No doubt in my mind, you'd have to do the whole chassis. What I'm trying to do here now is get in the right spot. I can do that. This wood is not helping me.
Put it on the edge. You want me to pick it up?
I'm just thinking, take. I don't know if that'll go underneath there or not. Maybe I can hold that up and put the jack underneath it. Don't do that. Maybe just put the jack there. I just want to weld the inside of this bad boy. I think what I got done on the outside would be fine, but that's good, John. Thank you. I think what I got on the outside would be fine, but let's face it, that looks nice. Well done. And sometimes you have to pat yourself on the back, someone else, because most other people won't, right? That's what I do. Ouch! Ouch. It's not on there by much, but it's on there. Basically what I'm trying to do is get in place so I can put a bead of weld on that sucker and make myself happy. Just trying to get in place here. I want to put another bead of weld on her. I really do. I really do. And another thing too, when you're welding something like this, you want to get your cord right. You don't want it all bent up so you can't get a good weld. You want to get in place best you can. Yeah, something like this I really, feel like it should be welded both sides. Like I said, I'm not going to grind nothing off it. I want all the strength. quite a spot, but you know what? I'll get her. I guarantee I'll get it.
Guarantee it. And it's welding nice because it's nice and hot.
So I like to save the inside for last. That way they're nice and hot and it'll stick. All right, we've got that sucker welded inside and out. That's my lower bracket. That thing is not going anywheres. Shock's going to come down through there. Beautiful. I'm happy about the outside because I'm hot. I'm going to pull myself out. I'm going to let that cool off for a little second or two. So, I'm saying that the top bag is where it's supposed to be. Yeah, we got a bracket on there, got a bracket on the bottom. The bracket on the bottom, I enjoy that more than a piece of square stock. It just looks better, or I think it does. Or no, I know it does. It's welded on there. The only way you're getting it off is cutting it off. You're not going to rip that off, I don't think. Nowhere's in my brain that feels like that can be ripped off. And while I'm doing this, I can't work at this really fast and run and get things done because it's not that kind of a job. What am I doing? It's kind of a thing where you have to think it over full time because it is your suspension. We don't want anything to hit or anything like that. I'm just going to let this, I guess I don't have to let it down. I'd like to cool it off a little bit. I'll get some water maybe. Have any water right around, sweetheart? Right here. I think we had some water. No, I dumped that out on something. I know I did. I got air. Let's just go cool off for a second on its own. And then I can take and jam a bolt into it. Nothing. Hurt nothing. I'm underneath the bag, so I didn't hurt nothing. There's no heat up in there on that. There's heat on the control arm though. Fantastic. I'm happy with that. Very happy. I'm going to put a bolt on the top because I'm going to let it up and down here in a minute or two just to see how it works or show you how it works. Then I have the other side to do. So this morning we get out here. What had to happen is I had to make, ouch, jeez. I had to make this bracket. I just bolted it on the shock this time and then welding it back and plate in it. I'm not going to grind any of that off. I welded both sides, inside and outside. I give her what she needed. And then I welded this one on the inside, welded this one on the outside. This one's the top bracket that sits on up there. So it's going to go on the other side like this. This one's going to weld on the bottom on the other side like this. I'm going to gusset this one. This one's already got gussets as it goes, a little triangle going on there. And that's what's going on. I want to cool that off so I can put that shock on there. Yes, I do. Just for me and you. That looks good. I'm happy with that. I'm going to turn the air compressor on for a minute, baby. You got some water right there, Law. Not much. I don't think that'll hurt that anyways, to be honest with you. It'll hurt my hands more than anything.
Yeah, it's aluminum.
It'll soak it up.
Yeah, it'll just work.
John's getting ready for the winter, just like the rest of us. Huh? Aren't you? Everybody's getting ready for winter. That's what has to happen around this joint, man. Yeah, get some heat in the house, get bunkered down. You know what I do? I don't even buy wood anymore. I just chase Jolene around. Huh? Put a little heat in the house, baby. Put a little heat in the house. Anything like a chassis part or something like that, and you're doing your suspension of any sort, I probably would use a 3/16 thickness anyways. And what I mean by when you're welding this stuff together, when you're doing your chassis work and stuff like that, you really want to make sure. I'll get a piece of metal and show you. I think I've showed it before, and it's the exact same way with sheet metal. When you want to weld sheet metal, and you want it, you want to grind it off nice. When I weld that on there, ouch, I really want, you want to lay that on there so you've got an 1/8 or more. See how I've got, if I lay it on there like this, that means I can fill all that full of weld. And you want to do it on the other side. That's what I've done on this. I piled it right on, yes I did. But I've left a gap there so I got a place to weld and it got a place to stick. I'm not going to grind any of that off because I want the strength. So if you start doing this, if you put that on there like this, and then you weld it on, really what have you got? You've got a great big bumblebee out there, a big piece of weld that you have on the side of that with not a whole lot of penetration on the 3/16. Bring it over a little bit, like that, and then give yourself something nice to weld to fill that in with the weld, and leave it there. And leave it there. So, I've got a bolt. Have I got a bolt down there? Have I got it right here? I'm going to take this bolt, I'm going to use this bolt and this nut. And I'm going to put that on. I am so. You want to jack that up for me, John? Please, thank you. Yeah. Just a second. Yeah, go ahead. I don't know if I got that. That tighten that up or not.
Closed up.
It might have. It better not. Oh, I don't want it to, but hey, it might have. Go ahead, jack her up. Nope. Nope. Keep going. Yeah. Just a second now. I did not put the ball joint in. Sort of matters a little bit, does it not? I'm going to come back out again. We'll let her down. And I'll put the ball joint in that way there. Just let her down. All right, jack her up. Not sure how we're going to get those cones on yet. Don't know that yet. Oh, a second. Yep, go ahead. A second. There we go. All right. Yep. Cool. Second, I'm going to put the castle nut on. That's going to hold that. Now I'm going to go back underneath here and do this. I might need a screwdriver. I'm going to get a screwdriver. I know I need glasses, sweetheart. Don't remind me. I got John on his knees already. Stick this through so I can get the shock in the right place. All right, go ahead, John. Running out of gear? Oh yeah, because we haven't got the square stuff. Alrighty, we'll go with the block then. I do. Yep, pull her back some. Put that nut underneath there, pulling that. And my screw. missing things.
Screwdriver's back.
Yeah, okay. Screwdriver right there. Come on there. Shock. And that's the problem. What's she jamming on?
It's going up with it. So.
Go ahead. She just not opened up far enough, eh?
Yeah. That's a problem.
And that's what's going to happen to this stuff, because that's what happens. Is it not? That's what happens. Don't really want to hit that with a hammer. I just want to get enough and I can pry it down. Can you go up a little bit further?
Yeah.
Oh, sure you can.
I got a lot.
Okay, see if what happens. If it drives it down in there or not. We're bottomed out, are we not?
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah, we're hitting.
So we know, this is what we know for sure, that it's going to go to the ground. All right, we'll let it down just a little bit. Well, we know we can go to the ground. That's awesome, hey? I just got to get this, I got to get this pulled down somehow, get that opened up. Just need to
Can you pop it out?
pop the shock out.
Yep. And then try to bend the tab a little bit.
Yeah. You want to pop that block out?
No, don't do that.
No. Hey. Alrighty. Alright, Jack. Just jack her up a bit. I wonder if I can just beat that in. A minute. I think that'll go in.
Yeah.
I don't really want to hit it with anything that's going to mark it. Not really. I need a rubber mallet, I guess. I get it. Aye. Beautiful day here in Nova Scotia. Beautiful. The front went quite well, you know, considering what had to be done.
Yeah.
It's going quite well. I don't know what to say other than that. It's going A1. A1. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Now we're cooking with gas. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Ha That just made me smile. Jolene, you make me smile more. You know that, do you? Alrighty. So, we have this. Let's just look at this for a minute. And so what we have here is the prototype for the other side.
Yeah.
This is the prototype for the other side. We've got the castle nut on. We've got the ball joint hooked up the top. We've got the top mounted where the shock is on the top. That's all welded on. We've got the bolt in it. John's going to let that down for me, will you please? He's going to let it down for me. We got the shock all hooked up. So actually, the air rides, that just falls for some reason. I don't know why, but whatever. That should stay in place, I would think. Wouldn't
Well, when you have air in it, it will.
you? Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay.
Because the airbag pushes it up to the bottom.
What we have here is we have it all hooked up. The top mount's there. The bottom mount is hooked at the bottom there. That's a nice mount. I like that way better than what I had the first time. I like it way better than what I had the first time. So basically that's pushing up on that. That's not going to rip that off. And that's pushing down on that. And that's not going to rip that off. When we jack it up, the bump stop comes right to the top. So we know we're going all the way to the ground. And when we put the air to it, we know we're coming up. Looking real good. Looking real good. So basically what's going to happen is I'm going to go to the other side and do the exact same thing on this side. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my shock. Don't want to put that there. My shock on this side. Have to get myself a 1/2 inch. Goes on there like that. I'll get a 1/2 inch bolt, shove on that. Thank you for all the nuts and washers and all that sort of stuff. Jolene come up and filled up the old bolt bin. That was great. Fantastic. Fantastic gift. Fantastic. Couldn't ask for, yeah. If Jolene got me nuts and bolts for Christmas, I'd be tickled pink. So what happens here, this piece goes up in here. This is what goes on. I take this piece, I take it up and shove it up in here. I put a piece of metal in there. On the other side, I did that. I laid a piece of metal, so this bracket here lays flush instead of laying there and then have a gap and lay it on a 45. This piece is going to come in here. I got to put that other piece in there. Then we'll weld that on there just like the other side. Then we'll go down the bottom and do the exact same thing on the other side. And basically, that's what's happening. We have our little nozzle here to turn it up and down. That's great. It even looks like it's got a bend in the inner fender for the shock. It looks like it even supposed to be that way. So what's going to happen is I have to get a piece of metal. This is what I did. I'll show you. There's no better thing than showing you exactly what I've done. Time laces up. I'll put the other piece in. I'll show you how I done that. Flush that off. It's probably 1/8 thickness, so I just use a piece of 1/8 right here. Get myself a blade. I'll cut this and put that in there. Well, that's not going to come off that way. Must have jammed it up a couple times. That's what makes it hold on tighter than it's supposed to. Jamming it up. Glasses. I'm gonna get a marker. I got one in my pocket. I thought I had. Zip cut is what I need. Better bring 2. Did you bring the computer up today? We're going to give a hat or a shirt away today, so you stick around to the end. We'll give a hat or a shirt away. So, as I'm doing this, this is not something that I knew how to do. No, it's not. It's something I had to play with and mull over in my brain how I was going to do it. You know, like anybody else, like Henry would have had to do with his car if it did not fit. He would have had to mull it over in his brain to make it fit. And that's exactly what I done. I don't think Henry bought the kit for a 55 Mercury. I don't think he did. He might have, but I don't think. But the kit that we have, or he's donated to the cause, is fantastic. And the reason I say fantastic, because I don't have to hook up shocks. I just have to put the airbag on and make that fit in 2 brackets. And if I had just had bags, I'd have to make brackets for the bags or cups for the bags. And then I'd have to have a shock put on. I've got an angle right here. I want this piece here, I want this 1/8 plate to sit in there flush. Got a little angle there, so I'm going to cut a little angle and then I'll mark the other side. Basically, what I've done is I've made an angle. I'm going to stick that one in there, that angle. I'm going to come this side and draw the other angle. That way there, I can set it in there and flush it off so the top mount sits flush. I also want gap there. I want gap on either side, because if I don't get gap on either side, well, then that means I can't get my weld to lay down in there flush. So what I'll do, see how I've got a little gap going all the way around? That way there I can weld that right in there and get the weld to lay right in flush. And if I put it in there tight, like this, if I put it up tight, where's the weld go? It lays on the outside I grind it off and haven't got nothing. So if I bring it down a little bit, just like so, we'll get the welder, we'll weld that piece on. And then that allows for the top mount to go on and set flush. What am I doing here? Stay there. I want my welder. What bike you driving today, John?
The VMAX, Yamaha.
John's got a VMAX Yamaha. He's back on her. He had a little incident with his motorcyclette.
The only one that works.
Oh, the other one's still fixing it.
Waiting for parts.
Waiting for parts. All
It's
right.
on some ship somewhere floating around in the ocean.
Oh, wow. That's too bad. Person don't realize until it happens, eh?
Yeah.
Realize until it happens. Well, I'm ecstatic about that bag, how that fit. I'm very happy with that. When you get on your project and something works out, you can be happy. On the back, we did it, I think, 3 times we messed with it, and this right here, we're getting it done. I should send John home with the instruction how to bag wire this thing all up and everything. That's going to be quite a time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it will be.
Yes, it will be, he says. So I'm just going to put that in there so I can get some weld in there. Or lay flush best I can. Slipping. Just going to tack it down the bottom here. Weld her up now. Scooch it in. Keep my wire right in where the hole is, and then I'll let it melt out where the metal is. So the wire's right in the center where the hole is, and then I build the puddle up to reach the other stuff. Now I'll have to flapper wheel that off so it lays flush. On the sides it does not matter because the bracket's going up the middle. We just want to weld it together. Make it set! John, you want to turn that wire speed down just a little tiny bit. Just like, what's it on, 6 a little bit?
Yeah.
Just a little tiny bit. Like a real tiny bit. There we go. Thank you. Other side. Doing the dog scooch. Also, right here, you can see they've got this layer of metal here, it's bent up. You can see a little gap there where they're all, well, it's not connected. This is what I do. Connect it. Make it a little bit stronger. And it's just going to connect that, keep the metal dust, keep all this stuff. Just a little more support. So if it ever tries to rip off or whatever, we've got it welded so it's not going anywhere. As I'm doing this, I am no airbag specialist. I am no air ride specialist. I'm nothing like that. All I am is making it work and basically watch it go up and down, see if it's hitting anything, and if it goes up and down where you want it to go, that's basically the end of it, I would say, and that's what I do. But I'm going to leave that alone for a second. The shock is going to go up in there. Our mount is going to go up in there. I'll leave that alone because that's nice and warm. It's connected down there. If that ever tried to rip off there, it's not going to come away because I got it welded. I got that. I'm going to have that flushed off so I can put my bracket on. You know how I put the bracket on the bottom. I'm going to do the exact same thing I did on the other side. So, this is what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to put my hat on, put underneath there with the grinder, and flush off the weld. So the bracket that I have on top will lay flush. I'm all right with welding that, grinding that off flush because I've got the weld in that hole that I left. So we know it's still welded. That seems to be good. I would take the bracket off the bag and lay it on there. That feels really nice. It's hot, I can tell you that much. And we'll just let that cool off so we can work on that. So that's where I'm at. Like I said, we'll have to run somewhere and get a T for the line and a air valve so we can pump it up and down. We know that it goes up and down because we just tried it. When I was making the brackets, I had a little bit of a time trying to hold them. Basically what you should do is take some time, wrap the bag or your bag or your shock, wrap it up in tape, put your bolt in it so you have a true read, and then when you weld it up and take it off, it fits. I did it once and we had to separate it. I had to do that this morning again because I made another one. But that's basically how it's going. The air ride will be, I'll have it completed. I'll have both brackets completed today. I'll have the other side on. We got to go get the air chuck and stuff. I'm going to leave that right now. I could put that on. Yes, I can. How much time we got? We're at an hour? All right, let's get way ahead of her shirt. I'll plunk that on. You don't have to watch me weld or anything. Basically, I really feel that that's what we needed. It's going to be a really nice setup, I feel. Yep. A really nice setup. It's going all the way to the ground. There's so many things that when you're building a custom car that you just basically got to stop and think about it for a while. You have to realize where the pressure's going, what needs help, what doesn't need help. Welding sheet metal and welding this stuff is two different animals. With welding on chassis and stuff like that, you really have to make sure that the welder is working at its top, I guess, or the best it can to weld that thicker metal together and stick. On the sheet metal, you want basically less heat as possible to warp anything, always keeping it cool. That stuff, you want it nice and hot so it burns in. Got a computer up here? Let's go do it. Let's go do it. I'm happy again today. It's going good. It's going fantastic. Huh? What do you think? Isn't it? Yeah, that worked out good. And what had to happen when I was doing that, I had to jack that wheel up and down probably 10, 15 times before I decided where I was going and what I was doing to weld them brackets in. Yeah. And I guess that's why I stuck it in there, because I did it quite a few times to make sure. How many comments?
322.
I have a 322 nail head in the 32 Ford. And I see Joe Sosa saying that you haven't built nothing in 2 years. Well, that's a lie, Joe. That's a lie. I built a Suzuki motorcycle, a race bike. I built a race bike. I built a 32 Ford with a 322 nail head in it. And what else did I build? Oh, I built a storage container with windows in it. And I built a great big thing on the top. Man, I'm a building fool. Perspective. What? It's true. You know, it's true. I got to give them perspective. I built a motorcycle and a car. And you'll have to go through the page and see. I don't know how to say that name. Eco-Bear? Eco-Bear? Flathead Power. We picked up a flathead. Jolene you put it on Facebook. We went to this guy's house. He had a flathead and a 52 Ford, and the 52 Ford was absolutely gorgeous. He wants to run to an automatic with a 302 in it. Me and Jolene ran down just as fast as we could and give him the money for the flathead and the 5-speed. It's got headers on it. It's a Mercury engine. I would say that it's a nice engine. I think we got a real good deal on it. And yeah, you get a hat or a shirt of your choice. And we build all kinds of stuff here. No, I'm not going to put a flathead in the Merc. I'm sorry. We're going to put, I'm not sure what we're going to do there yet. We have a couple Chevy engines and we have one Ford engine, but the Ford engine's not ready yet, but we'll see. Thank you for the comments and perspective.